All right, everybody. This is going to be a fairly short video on creating the last three break lines. We're actually creating these as feature lines, but in the near future, we're going to use them as break lines for our surface creation. So, the last video I put out, we talked about creating three break lines up on the north end of the project, and we created three feature lines, I should say, and look at that. There's I need to join those. This might be a good example. Here I have, that should actually be one object, and you can see here it's two. So I guess that gives me an opportunity to show you again this. Let's see, look at our center line. That looks good. And then our top of bank on the north side of the ditch, that looks good as well. But you can see here I failed to join those. So let me just show you how to do that again. If I left click on my feature line here, I want to join it with this other piece. I'm going to go up here to the Edit Geometry palette. Second one from the right is Join right there. And I'm going to choose Join. And I'm just going to check. I'm going to pick that other part of the feature line there, and I'll hit enter. So now it's one object, and that's the way they need to be. The other thing you should notice, I think I mentioned this the other day, is that these feature lines cannot cross, and you could see here how close they came to crossing. And the only reason they don't cross is because somebody in the field was thinking about that, probably, hopefully. And so here we've got the top of bank on the south side of the ditch. We've got the center line of the ditch, which of course is lower in elevation. And then we've got the top of bank on the north side of the ditch. So we're going to do three more today, and then that'll be our short video for today. We created all these point groups. If I expand my point groups area, over here I've got this little plus sign I'm going to hit to expand my point groups. So I'm going to hit that plus sign. We've got a lot of point groups that we've already made. I'm going to click on my, let's see here, we created one called Top of Bank around Manhole. And so I'm going to, actually what I want to do is I want to right click on point groups and then go to Properties and Top of Bank around Manhole. Where is that one? Right here. It's at the bottom of the list. I want to put it up at the top. Okay, now it's at the top of the list, and it should show up, and there they are. And it's only, what, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. 7 points. I'll change my scale here so they can kind of see what they are. They're all labeled top of bank. And just by way of, letting you guys know what was going on here, is there was a excavated hole here. Someone had gone out here with a backhoe or an excavator, and there was a buried manhole. And at the time we did this survey, the Department of Public Works or somebody had gone out there and uncovered that manhole down to the manhole cover, which was several feet below the ground surface. So there was a hole, and we wanted to depict that hole, so we took some shots along the top of bank around the manhole. So that's what these points represent. All I'm going to do right now is draw a feature line. We've done this before, create feature line. This one I'll change to, I'm just going to leave it at basic feature line. It really isn't very important. And I'm just going to say OK, and we've done this. We know that we have to hit enter and accept the starting elevation. And then each time I connect to a point, I have to hit enter. I think on a closed feature line like this one, I'm not sure, we'll find out right now, when I close at the same point I started at, it ends the command automatically. You see that? So now I've got a feature line that represents top of bank around that excavated manhole. Now what I'd like to do is I'd like to show all my toe of slope shots. And so I'm going to right click on point groups again, just go to my properties, and I'm going to find my toe of slope point group. There it is, and I'm going to push it to the top of the list here. So now I should see all my toe of slope shots. I might sometimes you have to type regen here to see that. I'm going to try that. RE for regen. No, that didn't work. So let me try that again. Properties. Toe of slope. I might have done something. Toe of slope. I push that to the top of the list and say OK. There they are. You can see we've got, what, 4 toe of slope shots on the inside of that hole. Same thing. Let's just draw a feature line. Create feature line. And I'm just going to start here, and I'm going to go from point to point. Okay, so now we're done with that. There's only one more feature line that we have to draw later on. Like I said, we are going to, I'm just making sure I hit all those points correctly. Yeah, it looks good. Later on, we're going to create break lines from these feature lines. Now, this is one. You can see these points lie at the toe of slope for the construction of this roundabout. So what's happening here is the slope is a bit steeper from the back of curb down to the toe of slope line, and then it flattens out. So this is called a toe of slope, and we're going to draw one more feature line here. So create feature line, and these are all labeled TOS for toe of slope. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw this feature line through these points. You see how I'm using my object snap to these nodes. And that's the last one. So now we have 6 feature lines that we've created. 3 for the ditch, 2 for the excavated area around the manhole, and 1 for the toe of slope northeast of the roundabout. I'll end there. Thanks.